There was a grocer shop in here with the old wooden boxes with the flour and the sugar and those things all in big boxes, and you'd scoop out a pound of flour or a pound of sugar and be weighed on the scales with that old-time grocery shop. Always had the white apron on. He had a container with honey in it, and a light globe underneath to keep it running, and fluid. It's to fill your little jar you'd bring for your own honey. Cornflakes, rice bubbles, all those things were still in packets, but a real grocery shop, and a big old wooden counter inside. Inside also were compartments for the various spices which they would sell in those days. There's also a little shoe shop in here where the booty repaired shoes and boots, and always put hobnails in the boots to make them last longer. They were big tacks which went underneath. Walking along, just skid over if you didn't watch yourself with hobnails. But that was the booty, and then later on, after the Second World War, there was a hairdresser or barber came here, and all the gentlemen of the day would all get their haircut there at the barbers. 2 and 6, I think, was 25 cents was a fee. Over the road, if we can just pan across the road to where Eclipse Motors is, on that corner was a service station, and also a big old building out the back which was made by built by a gentleman who decided he was going to make a lot of money, and he put the frame up, and he got the old dunny cans, we called them, which were the toilet cans. He flattened them out, and that was the lining on the walls of this old shed, and he brought grain down from the Wimmera after the mouse plague, and he put the grain in there going to sell to everybody, but because the mice had contaminated the grain and the hay and so forth he brought down and going to make his fortune out of it, the cattle wouldn't eat it. So he just went broke, but it was used for a variety of different activities after that there, and it was owned by a gentleman named Jack Rodder, who was rather progressive in his day. With his service station, he came up with a device which was for your air hose. It stood on a pole and swung it over the other side of the car so you could pump your tyres up instead of running the hose on the ground overhead. He was ahead of his time in one way with that particular thing, but quite a personality. Later on, of course, Eclipse Motors came and started their new building. They put workshops out the back, and that became the residence and site of their business, and it still is for Eclipse Motors in Ballarat, the 4 dealers. Now that was this top end, just down about halfway down this block, there was a little reel house for the fire brigade. If the alarm was raised for this area, the local butcher and the news agent and the hairdresser would all race down and get the reel, get the hydrant, put it into the fire plug, run the hose out and have a go at the fire. And many's a story about going around, huffing and puffing to wherever a fire might be, dragging this reel hose, but that's what they did. And that was the life in the earlier days here.